Welcome to this new virtual classroom. What do we need to do work? Yes, you are right. We need energy to do any kind of work. That is, to occur different phenomena along with the work done by you and me need the supply of energy. That is, we use different type of energy sources. You can easily tell me that different type of work that we need directly the energy sources for cooking, for making bricks, for ironing clothes, for making electricity, for running car, for running steam engine, for charging your mobile phone, for running TV, for running fan over your head and glowing light, for the production of different type of food and every household aspect in the industry. That is, all these type of work need supply of energy. That is, we use different type of and different form of energy. Yes, this is the chapter we will discuss about the environment friendly energy and their uses. So, now come to the point that we use different type of energy like heat energy for cooking, burning, running steam engine, production of the electricity and many more. We use also electrical energy. We use electrical energy for different purposes: glowing of lights, running machine, charging mobile phone, etc. Not only these, but there are many more examples of using electrical energy. And we get different type of energy sources. That is, if we want to have the heat energy, we need to depend on different type of energy sources like coal, petroleum, diesel, kerosene, natural gases like liquid petroleum gas, compressed natural gases. That is, for cooking, we use coal, kerosene, and sometimes the cooking gas, that is LPG, or for running engine, we sometimes use the petroleum, we use kerosene, diesel, and compressed natural gases. These all type of energy sources all together called the fossil fuels. And you have already known about the fossil fuels. Those we get from underground by digging out the coal, petroleum, etc. and also different type of natural gases. And these are the supply of energy sources for making electrical energy and also for having different heat energy from different type of fossil fuels. That is, the different type of energy sources like coal, petroleum, natural gases are used for long time By convention, these energy sources are used. Without these sources of energy, the modern civilization is impossible to run a single day. So, the different type of fossil fuels, say for example, coal, petroleum, natural gases, are altogether used by convention. And for this reason, these are called the conventional sources of energy. What we are saying? The conventional sources of energy. So if I want to have two example of conventional energy sources, you must be able to say the answer that the conventional sources of energy are coal, different type of petroleum like diesel, kerosene, and the compressed or liquid natural gases or petroleum gases. Okay, by this time it is very easy to understand that conventional energy sources are the main energy sources nowadays since from the beginning of the modern civilization, the sources of energy. Now, and you are watching, these are the few example of the conventional energy sources. Do you think that the demand of energy, that is the amount of energy needed, the amount of energy nowadays need, or the demand of energy is increasing or decreasing? My question is that in earlier days the energy sources were used to run the society, but nowadays we also use the different energy sources. Do you think the demand of energy is decreasing? Yes, you are right. Nowadays, the demand of energy is not decreasing. Instead, it is increasing. So, would you tell me the reason? Would you tell me the reason of increase of the demand of energy sources? Yes, you are right. One of the most important reason is that increase in the number of population. Increase in the number of population. What do you mean by population? I hope you have all known about the population. The number of individual, the number of human in a particular area for particular time. These are two important parameters that during the progression of the civilization, the number of human population is steadily increasing. So, it is very clear to you that I'm showing you some pictures that the increase in the number of population, the what are the other consequences with the increase in the number of population. So first, from this first figure, you are, I hope you are watching the uh, during the earlier days the number of population were too little or too few than nowadays. The number of population is much increasing in number today. And during the earlier days, the demand of food was also little. But nowadays, as the number of individual is increasing, so demand of food is also increasing. It is very clear to you that in earlier days, the demand of food was minimum. And nowadays, the demand of food is much more than earlier days because the growing number of population. So if the number of population is increased nowadays, so the number of houses will also similarly be increased nowadays. In earlier days, the number of houses for building for the lower number of individual was too little or too few houses were needed. But nowadays, as the number of individual has increased, the number of houses also need to be increased. So during earlier days, the number of vehicles for transportation for moving from one place to another place also too little. But nowadays, the number of vehicles or car or engines has increased to meet the demand of transportation of growing number of population. So the increase in the number of population is the important factor for the increasing demand of food, for increasing demand of number of houses for living, and for increase in the demand of number of transportation vehicles is also increased along with the increase in the number of population. So for manufacturing cars, for building more houses, for production of the more food, and many more, for meeting the demand of increasing number of population, these are also need to be produced in more amount. And if we want to manufacture more car, then we need to run more industry. If we want to produce or build more houses, we need to have more building materials. And at the same time, to produce more building materials, it is need to open more number of industries to process the food and produce the food. The agricultural practices generally farmers do for doing the production of more food, different means of production of food that help to produce more food, that should be increased proportionally. So my focus is to show you that increasing number in population along with the different demand, increasing demand, compel or force to use more energy. Ultimately, it results in the increasing demand of energy. That is, more in the number of population, more demand of energy. So, if the civilization demand more energy, we need to depend more on the coal, petrol, diesel, kerosene, and natural gases. That is, in total, we need to depend on the conventional sources of energy more. That is, it is very clear to you that in earlier days, the demand of using conventional energy sources was less than today's civilization. So one day will come, the more increasing demand of energy sources will result into the finishing of all conventional sources of energy. That is, the coal, petroleum, diesel, kerosene, all will be finished one day. In this regard, we can classify the conventional energy sources, or we can give the name of those energy sources which will be finished one day or immediate future or near future. Those type of energy sources are called the exhaustible energy sources. What is the meaning of exhaust? Exhaust. Exhaust. Te means finish. The coal, petroleum, kerosene, diesel, natural gases will be finished in near future. And if we demand more energy, more use of the conventional sources of energy, it will be finished very earlier. So, exhaustible energy sources. An opposite of the exhaustible energy sources is the inexhaustible, that is, not finish. So we will come to this point later, but for now we need to have more clear picture. The exhaustible energy sources are coal, petroleum, compressed natural gas, liquid petroleum gases, etc. So if we come to more about the conventional energy sources or exhaustible energy sources, what are the drawbacks of using fossil fuels and others like atomic energy? We had studied that conventional energy sources are like coal, petrol, diesel, kerosene, natural gases. And at the same time, we had learned that these are also called the exhaustible energy sources, that is coal, petrol, CNG, LPG, etc. And as the increase in the number of population, nowadays the demand of energy is also maximum. So, what are the negative points or drawbacks of using these conventional energy sources? The first point is that one day will come, these energy sources will be finished in near future. Also, it will cause environmental pollution, including public health and other organisms and global warming. So, modern civilization, when demands more energy, more supply of using conventional sources of energy, the drawbacks are it will be finished near future. It causes more environmental pollution. It causes the harm to the public health and other organisms. And ultimately, the average temperature of the earth is also increasing. And it is an established fact, you all know. Do you think the conventional sources of energy will meet the demand of growing number of population? My question is that when one day the conventional sources of energy like fossil fuels will be finished, how the demand of energy will be supplied to the modern civilization. Yes, you are right. The demand of energy supply will be met by using some other sources of energy. As the demand of energy will not reduce, so we have to find out some other sources of energy. That is what we were talking about, the conventional energy sources. The opposite term of the conventional energy sources is the non conventional sources of energy. What we are saying? The non conventional energy sources. So we have to think about some non conventional sources of energy. That is, there will not be any kind of diesel, petroleum, coal, natural gases. That is, they will not be the fossil fuels or the energy we use by convention. At the same time, as the much use of fossil fuel and or conventional energy sources causes the environmental pollution causes harm to the public health, causes global warming. We have to think not only the non-conventional sources of energy, but instead they must be eco-friendly. What we are saying? Eco-friendly or environment friendly. Now, just we are getting the term environment friendly. The chapter entitled here is the use of environment friendly energy sources. Okay, so the non-conventional energy sources and eco-friendly energy sources, and they must be inexhaustible. Just you have learned about the word the exhaustible, and the opposite word of the exhaustible is the inexhaustible. That will not finish, that will not finish in near future or immediately. Okay, so we have to think about those type of energy sources. So what is the criteria? Criteria is that the non-conventional energy or eco-friendly energy sources, and they should be inexhaustible. And there are so many type of example of non-conventional eco-friendly energy sources. The energy from sun or solar energy, the energy from flow of the wind, the energy from the biomass, energy from the biomass, energy from the tide and waves of large water body like ocean or big lake or river, and the energy of the earth or the heat energy of the earth, that is called geothermal energy. So these are the few example of the eco-friendly or non-conventional inexhaustible. So these are all together form the non-conventional energy sources, eco-friendly, non-conventional, and also they are inexhaustible. Inexhaustible. What are the benefits of using such energy sources? As the demand of growing population is increasing, the demand of food, demand of building houses, demand of building car, and many more. So in the different type of industries, the use of this type of energy sources will not cause any environmental problems, will not cause any harm to the public health, will not cause any harm to the other living organism, will not cause any harm to the overall environment, and ultimately it will not cause the global warming. Though sometimes the energy from the biomass may cause some pollution in the environment, but instead the instead of using coal and petroleum, the use of biomass energy will cause the minimum harm or pollution to the environment. And at the same time, by using the biomass, it will reduce the pollution load due to non-using of the biomass. So, my dear students, you need to read this chapter, use of environment friendly energy sources, from your science and environment book, by keeping in mind those guidelines for study. So please check the inbox. You will find there are some guiding questions. After completion of all the videos, you have to note them down in your exercise book, and I'm sure these questions will also boost up your learning ability. And you all subscribe this channel to get the notification. You press the bell icon and make like and give reply in the comment section. If you want to know more, if you have any question, write them down in comment box. I will reply. Okay? Keep learning with love and care. Take care. Bye bye.